Hello guys, welcome to Scion What If. So in this video, we will see what if Goku mastered Ultra Instinct as a baby. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1, Divine Accident. The universe doesn't make mistakes, but sometimes it creates miracles. A small Scion pod hurtled through the dark emptiness of space, carrying its precious cargo toward a distant blue planet. Inside, baby Kakarot slept peacefully, unaware of the destruction of his homeworld or the destiny that awaited him. The pod's navigation system had locked onto Earth, a backwater planet perfect for conquest by even an infant Scion. But the universe had other plans. As the pod crossed the boundary of the Milky Way galaxy, it passed through what most would call a cosmic anomaly. To the gods who occasionally glanced at the mortal realms, it was known as the Celestial Confluence, a rare alignment where the barriers between divine realms thinned, allowing streams of godly ki to leak into mortal space. The baby's pod shot directly through this invisible river of divine energy. Inside, Kakarot's tiny body convulsed as silvery blue energy coursed through him. His eyes snapped open, glowing with an otherworldly light. For a moment, the infant Scion existed in perfect harmony with the universe itself. Every atom, every particle, every flow of energy registered in his developing mind. Then, as quickly as it began, the moment passed. The pod continued its journey, systems reporting nothing unusual, the baby once again sleeping peacefully. But everything had changed. Gohan trudged up the mountain path, humming softly to himself. At his age, gathering firewood was getting harder, but the old martial artist wouldn't trade his peaceful mountain life for anything. The forest was especially beautiful today, birds singing, the scent of pine heavy in the air. A thunderous crash shattered the serenity. What in the world? Gohan dropped his bundle and raced toward the sound, moving with surprising agility for a man his age. Breaking through the tree line into a small clearing, he saw it, a smoking crater with something metallic glinting at its center. Cautiously approaching the edge, Gohan peered down to find a strange spherical object. As he watched, a section of it slid open with a hydraulic hiss, revealing a baby boy with wild, spiky black hair. "Well, hello there, little fellow," Gohan said, climbing carefully into the crater. "Where did you come from?" The baby looked up at him with unusually alert eyes, studying the old man's face without fear. Gohan reached down to pick him up and gasped when the child seemed to flow like water from his grasp, rolling to the side with impossible grace. "My, aren't you a quick one?" Gohan chuckled, trying again. This time, he moved faster, but somehow the baby anticipated the movement, shifting just enough that Gohan's hands closed on empty air. It wasn't that the child was trying to escape, he simply moved as naturally as breathing, his tiny body responding to Gohan's movements before they even fully happened. After several failed attempts, Gohan sat back and considered the situation. "I see you're going to be a challenge." He removed a rice ball from his pocket and held it out. "Hungry, little one?" The baby's eyes fixed on the food, and his automatic defenses dropped. When Gohan reached out this time, the child allowed himself to be picked up, grabbing at the rice ball with surprising coordination. "You need a name," Gohan said as he climbed out of the crater, baby in his arms. "How about Goku? Son Goku." Years passed, and raising Goku proved both a joy and a challenge unlike anything Gohan had expected. The boy was kind-hearted and cheerful, but his reflexes bordered on supernatural. Teaching him basic tasks required endless patience. The boy's body would automatically avoid incoming objects, making something as simple as handing him a spoon nearly impossible. "Goku!" Gohan called, watching the 4-year-old playing near the edge of a cliff. "Not so close to the edge." "I'm okay, Grandpa," the boy called back, leaping fearlessly from one rocky outcropping to another, his body moving with fluid grace that put mountain goats to shame. Gohan's heart nearly stopped when Goku's foot slipped on loose gravel, sending him over the edge. Racing to the cliff, Gohan looked down in panic, only to find Goku bouncing from one protruding rock to another, his body automatically finding perfect perches each time, landing safely at the bottom. "See? Told you I'm okay." Goku waved up at him, grinning. That night, as Gohan tucked Goku into bed, he asked, "How do you do that, my boy? Move the way you do." Goku scrunched his face in confusion. "Do what, Grandpa?" "The way you dodge everything, the way you never fall, the way you move." "I dunno." Goku shrugged. "I just do." "Don't you?" Gohan realized then that Goku had no idea he was different. To him, moving with perfect reflexes was as natural as breathing. Whatever made him special was so integrated into his being that he couldn't distinguish it as unusual. The real test of Goku's abilities came when he turned 7. They had ventured into town for supplies, and Goku's strange behavior, dodging around people before they even changed direction, catching falling items before they fully tipped, attracted attention. "Hey, weird kid." A local boy, twice Goku's size, pushed toward him through the marketplace crowd. "What's wrong with you?" Goku tilted his head. "Nothing's wrong with me." "Yeah. Then why you moving all freaky?" The boy threw a punch, fast for his age. Goku didn't consciously dodge. His body simply wasn't there when the fist arrived, having shifted slightly left. The boy stumbled forward, surprised by hitting nothing but air. "Hold still," he growled, throwing another punch. Then another. And another. To onlookers, it appeared as though Goku was gliding around the attacks, his movements minimal but perfectly timed. He never raised his hands in defense, never adopted a fighting stance. His expression remained curious, almost puzzled, as his body automatically avoided every attack. "Fight back," the boy yelled in frustration, his face reddening. "I don't want to fight," Goku said simply. The boy grabbed a wooden stick from a nearby stall and swung it hard at Goku's head. What happened next stunned everyone watching. Goku's right hand rose, caught the stick mid-swing, and snapped it in half, all without Goku seeming to consciously decide to do so. "Sorry," Goku said, genuinely apologetic. "I didn't mean to break it." The marketplace had gone silent. Gohan quickly took Goku's hand and led him away, feeling the weight of stares on their backs. "Grandpa, why was that boy angry?" Goku asked as they headed home. "People fear what they don't understand, Goku," Gohan replied. "And you, my boy, are unlike anyone I've ever known." That night, Gohan made a decision. He retrieved a small chest from beneath his bed and opened it for the first time in decades. Inside lay the orange GI of his youth, emblazoned with the turtle symbol of his old master. "It's time I teach you properly, Goku," Gohan said. "Your body already knows how to fight better than most masters, but you need to understand why and when to use that power." Training Goku proved both fascinating and frustrating. The boy's body instinctively countered every attack, making traditional teaching nearly impossible. Instead, Gohan focused on teaching Goku control, how to channel his automatic responses, how to measure his strength, and most importantly, when to fight and when to show mercy. One moonlit night changed everything. Gohan had warned Goku never to look at the full moon, a rule the boy had always obeyed without question. But children's curiosity is boundless, and 8-year-old Goku found himself drawn to the silvery light filtering through the trees. "It's so pretty," he whispered, stepping into a clearing and gazing upward at the perfect circle in the night sky. The transformation began immediately. Goku's heart rate spiked, his pupils dilated, and his small body began to grow. But unlike a typical Saiyan transformation, something strange occurred. As the Oozura form began to take hold, silvery blue energy crackled across Goku's expanding body. His consciousness, which should have been submerged beneath primal rage, remained present. Gohan, hearing the commotion, rushed to find his grandson in mid-transformation. "Goku! No!" The giant ape turned toward the sound, but instead of mindless fury in its eyes, Gohan saw recognition. The monster moved with the same fluid grace that characterized Goku's human form, each step precise despite its enormous size. "Gee, Grandpa?" The voice was deeper, rumbling, but unmistakably Goku's. Before Gohan could respond, the Oozaru's foot slipped on the mountainside, sending a boulder tumbling directly toward the old man. Gohan tried to dodge, but age had slowed his once legendary reflexes. The massive ape moved with impossible speed, diving to intercept the boulder. But its own momentum, combined with the unstable ground, sent both Goku and Gohan over the cliff edge. In his panic to save his grandfather, Goku struck his head on a jutting rock formation. The impact was enough to knock him unconscious, reverting his transformation. Gohan, battered but alive, carried the boy's now normal-sized body back to their home. When Goku awoke days later, something had changed. The head injury had altered something fundamental, not his reflexes or his power, but his memory. The boy remembered nothing of his transformation, nothing of his origins, only that he was Son Goku, grandson of Son Gohan. And though Gohan mourned the memories his grandson had lost, he also recognized a blessing: the accident had somehow reinforced Goku's gentle nature while leaving his extraordinary abilities intact. Years passed. Gohan taught Goku everything he knew about martial arts, though the boy's instinctive movements often surpassed his grandfather's techniques. Then came the day Gohan didn't return from a journey to the neighboring village. 12-year-old Goku searched for days, eventually finding his grandfather's body peacefully resting beneath a cherry tree, having passed away from natural causes. Alone but not afraid, Goku continued living as Gohan had taught him, hunting, fishing, and training daily. His only memento of his grandfather was the 4-star Dragon Ball, which Goku kept as a precious treasure without understanding its significance. Then came the day that changed everything, the day a blue-haired city girl in a car crashed into his life. "Watch out!" Bulma screamed, swerving her vehicle to avoid the boy standing in the middle of the path. Goku didn't flinch. His body simply pivoted, the car missing him by millimeters without him appearing to consciously move. "Are you crazy?" Bulma yelled, jumping out of her car. "I could have killed you." Goku blinked at her. "What's that monster?" he asked, pointing at her vehicle. Their meeting unfolded much as it had in other timelines, Bulma explaining cars, technology, and the legend of the Dragon Balls. But this Goku, while just as innocent, moved differently. When Bulma tried to examine the 4-star ball, Goku's hand snapped out and caught her wrist before she could touch it, a movement so fast she hadn't seen it happen. "Sorry," he said, releasing her instantly. "Grandpa gave me that ball. It's important." Bulma rubbed her wrist, staring at him with new interest. "What's your name, kid?" "Son Goku." "Well, Goku, how would you like to come with me to find more balls like yours?" And so began their adventure, one that would quickly reveal just how unusual Goku truly was. Their first real challenge came in the form of a massive bear thief who blocked their path through the forest, demanding Bulma as his prize. "Get out of our way," Goku said, stepping forward, his power pole ready. The bear laughed, swinging his enormous sword. "Make me, runt." What followed wasn't so much a fight as a demonstration. The bear's sword slashed through empty air as Goku's body automatically shifted position. Each swing, thrust, and slash met nothing but air, while Goku didn't appear to be making any effort to dodge. His expression remained calm, almost bored. "Fight back," the bear roared in frustration. Goku nodded. "Okay." His counterattack was a single strike with his power pole, so fast that Bulma didn't even see it happen. One moment the bear was charging forward, the next he was unconscious on the ground, a red mark blooming on his forehead. Bulma stood frozen, mouth open in shock. How did you do that?" Goku shrugged. "I just did." This pattern repeated itself throughout their journey. When dinosaurs attacked, Goku moved between their teeth without effort. When bandits ambushed them, they couldn't land a single hit while Goku defeated them with minimal movement. Even Yamcha, the desert bandit, found himself completely outclassed by the young boy's impossible reflexes. "It's not natural," Yamcha gasped after Goku had effortlessly avoided his Wolf Fang fist technique. "No one moves like that." Bulma, now traveling with both Goku and the reluctant Yamcha, had begun documenting Goku's abilities in a small notebook. "His body reacts before attacks even begin," she wrote. "It's as if he knows what's coming before it happens. Not telepathy, something else entirely." Oolong, Puar, and even the terrible Emperor Pilaf and his minions all fell before Goku's inexplicable abilities. When Mai fired her gun at point-blank range, Goku caught the bullet between his fingers without looking, his body responding automatically to the threat. "You're a monster!" Pilaf screamed as Goku bent the metal bars of their prison cell with minimal effort. "I'm not a monster," Goku replied calmly. "I'm just me." But the true revelation came under the full moon. Trapped in Pilaf's castle, Goku once again gazed at the forbidden sight. The transformation began, but unlike before, Goku remained fully conscious as the Oozra form took hold. Silver blue energy danced across his massive frame, his movements maintaining the same fluid grace of his human form. Bulma, Yamcha, Oolong, and Puar watched in horror as the giant ape systematically dismantled Pilaf's castle, movements precise and controlled rather than wildly destructive. "Goku?" Bulma called out tentatively. "Can you hear me?" The great ape turned, eyes glowing silver blue rather than red. "Bulma? Why are you so small now?" They eventually discovered that cutting off Goku's tail would revert him to human form, but the revelation remained, even in his most primal state, Goku maintained control, something unheard of among Saiyans. Word of the extraordinary boy spread. By the time they arrived at the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, rumors had already reached Master Roshi about his former student Gohan's unusual adopted grandson. "So you're Goku," Roshi said, adjusting his sunglasses as he studied the boy. "Gohan wrote to me about you, but I thought he was exaggerating." "You knew my grandpa?" Goku's face lit up. "Knew him? I trained him." Roshi laughed. "And now I'm curious to see what he taught you." The preliminary rounds of the tournament passed in a blur, literally for those watching Goku fight. Opponents couldn't touch him, their fastest techniques seemed to move in slow motion compared to Goku's effortless evasions. He qualified for the finals without taking a single hit or even breaking a sweat. "That kid isn't human," one eliminated fighter muttered, nursing his bruised ego and body. In the audience, a tall, pale individual watched with narrowed eyes. Dressed in ordinary human clothes but carrying himself with unusual grace, he observed Goku with growing interest. Occasionally, he touched the strange staff he carried, which briefly glowed purple. The finals proved more challenging. Fighters like Krillin, who quickly became Goku's friend, and Nam, fighting for his drought-stricken village, had skills that at least made Goku work for his victories. But it was the disguised Jackie Chun, Roshi in disguise, who provided the tournament's greatest revelation. Their battle began conventionally enough, a showcase of speed and skill that left the audience breathless. But as the fight progressed, Roshi recognized something he hadn't seen in over 300 years. "Boy," he said during a brief pause in their exchange, "how did you learn to move like that?" Goku tilted his head. "Like what?" "Grandpa taught me martial arts." "No," Roshi shook his head. "This is beyond martial arts. Your body moves on its own, doesn't it? You don't consciously dodge, you simply aren't where the attacks land." Goku's eyes widened. "How did you know that?" Instead of answering, Roshi launched into a flurry of attacks, pushing his aged body to its limits. Goku's evasions became more pronounced as the speed increased, his body glowing faintly with silvery blue energy that most spectators mistook for light reflecting off sweat. But Roshi saw it clearly. "Impossible," he whispered. In the stands, the pale observer leaned forward, his staff glowing brightly now. "What's happening to Goku?" Bulma asked, squinting at the strange aura surrounding her friend. Roshi decided to test his theory with his most powerful technique. Kamehameha. The beam of concentrated ki shot toward Goku, who instinctively raised a hand. Rather than dodging, his body chose to counter. Without knowing the technique, without training in energy manipulation, Goku's palm released a perfect Kamehameha wave that met Rashi's midway, the two beams struggling for dominance. The stadium went silent in shock. He copied the master's technique after seeing it once. Krillin gasped. It's not copying, Yamcha said slowly. Look at his face. He doesn't even realize what he's doing. Indeed, Goku looked as surprised as everyone else, staring at his own hand as it continued projecting energy to match Rashi's beam. When the light faded, Rashi stood breathing heavily, while Goku appeared barely winded. I forfeit, Rashi announced. What? Why? Goku asked, disappointed. Because, my boy, continuing this match would reveal things best kept secret for now. Rashi approached Goku and lowered his voice. You possess something called Ultra Instinct, a technique even the gods struggle to master. How a child has it, I cannot fathom, but it makes you the most naturally gifted fighter I have ever encountered. Goku blinked. Ultra, what? We'll talk later. For now, enjoy your victory. As Goku was declared the youngest world tournament champion in history, the pale observer slipped away from the crowd, vanishing into thin air when no one was looking. Across the universe, in a realm few mortals knew existed, the god of destruction Beerus twitched in his sleep. His attendant, Whis, looked up from his staff as it pulsed with notification. Oh my, Whis murmured. How fascinating. Beside him, his sister Vados raised an eyebrow. What is it, brother? It seems a mortal on that backwater planet Earth has somehow achieved Ultra Instinct. Impossible. Vados set aside her own staff. Even Lord Beerus hasn't mastered it fully. See for yourself. Whis projected an image from his staff, Goku's battle with Rashi, the silver-blue aura unmistakable to divine eyes. A scion child? Vados looked closer. But how? I'm not sure. But my agent reports the boy moves entirely on instinct, with no conscious control. Pure, perfect ultra instinct, integrated into his very being. Vados considered this. Lord Beerus won't be pleased when he wakes. No, Whis agreed. Which is why I'm letting him sleep a bit longer. This requires delicate handling. After the tournament, Goku found himself more confused than enlightened. Rashi had explained Ultra Instinct as best he could, based on ancient texts and legends, but the concept remained abstract to Goku. How could his natural way of moving be something special? It's like telling me breathing is special, Goku complained to Bulma as they sat outside Kame House. Everyone breathes. Not like you move, they don't, Bulma replied, still documenting observations in her notebook. I've been analyzing the tournament footage. Your reaction time isn't just fast, Goku, it's literally instantaneous. You begin moving before your opponents even decide to attack. Goku flopped back onto the sand. But what good is it? The tournament was too easy. Even Jackie Chun quit before it got fun. And therein lay the problem that would define Goku's journey forward. When you begin with abilities others train lifetimes to achieve, where do you find meaningful challenge? What drives you to improve? The answer came in the form of the Red Ribbon Army. Reports of their activities, gathering Dragon Balls, terrorizing villages, reached Kame House through Bulma's father, who had connections in West City's government. They're dangerous, Goku, Bulma warned. A whole army with tanks and guns and who knows what else. Goku's eyes lit up. A whole army? That sounds fun. Before anyone could stop him, he called for his flying nimbus, a gift from Rashi that further proved his pure heart, and took off in search of adventure and, hopefully, challenge. The Red Ribbon Army had no idea what was coming for them. Colonel Silver was the first to experience Goku's abilities firsthand. His men opened fire the moment they spotted the boy on the flying cloud. Bullets never touched Goku. His body weaved between them without apparent effort, each movement minimal but perfect. He dropped into the middle of the armed soldiers, who found themselves unable to track his movements as he systematically disarmed them all. What is he? Colonel Silver demanded, watching his elite unit fall before a child. When Silver himself attacked with martial arts training far beyond his men, Goku finally found something resembling a challenge, for about 10 seconds. Then his body adapted, his ultra instinct analyzing and countering Silver's style instantly. One by one, Goku dismantled the Red Ribbon Army's outposts, recovering Dragon Balls along the way. General Blue, Colonel Yellow, Captain Dark, none could stand against him. Even their most advanced weaponry proved useless against Goku's perfect reflexes and growing power. But General Blue provided the first real test of Goku's abilities. The handsome officer possessed psychic powers that could paralyze opponents with a glance. Freeze! Blue commanded, his eyes glowing as he caught Goku in his psychic hold. For the first time, Goku felt his body resist his commands. The paralysis took hold, freezing him mid-motion. But something strange happened. While his conscious movement stopped, his ultra instinct remained active. When Blue attacked the seemingly helpless boy, Goku's body automatically dodged despite the paralysis. Impossible! Blue gasped. You're under my control. My body moves on its own, Goku replied, surprised himself as he watched his arms and legs respond to Blue's attacks without his input. The revelation was significant. Ultra instinct operated on a level beyond conscious thought, beyond even psychic manipulation. It was something fundamental to Goku's being, perhaps even tied to his soul rather than merely his mind or body. Commander Red watched the security footage with growing rage as his army fell to a child. What is he? How does he move like that? Dr. Gero, the army's chief scientist, studied the footage carefully. His reflexes are beyond human capability. Even our cyborg prototypes can't process information that quickly. Can you replicate it? Red demanded. Perhaps, with time and suitable research subjects. Gero's eyes gleamed with scientific curiosity. Capturing him would advance my research by decades. Red slammed his fist down. Then do it. I want that power. But Goku was already approaching their headquarters, having defeated nearly every field commander the army possessed. Only one obstacle remained, mercenary Tao, the legendary assassin. Their confrontation in a small village near Red Ribbon headquarters drew a crowd of terrified onlookers. Tao, confident in his abilities as the world's deadliest assassin, attacked with precision and skill that had killed hundreds. For the first time, Goku found himself genuinely tested. Tao's techniques, honed over decades, included strikes designed to be unpredictable, attacks that changed direction mid-execution, and feints within feints. You move well, boy, Tao acknowledged after his initial assault failed to land. But you rely on instinct alone. Against true mastery, that will fail. To demonstrate, Tao threw a stone high into the air, then launched a complex combination attack. When Goku's attention split between tracking the stone and defending against Tao, the assassin landed his first clean hit, a knife-hand strike to Goku's chest. Goku stumbled back, eyes wide with surprise and, strangely, delight. You hit me. No one's hit me before. Tao smiled coldly. And now I'll kill you. But the hit had done something unexpected, it had excited Goku's Saiyan blood. The boy's silver-blue aura intensified as his ultra instinct adapted, analyzing Tao's methods and developing counters instantaneously. Their battle escalated, Tao using increasingly deadly techniques while Goku's movements became even more fluid and precise. The assassin finally resorted to his ultimate technique, the Dodon Ray, a concentrated beam of ki shot from his fingertip. The energy blast shot toward Goku, who raised his hand instinctively. Instead of dodging, his ultra instinct chose to counter, catching the Dodon Ray in his palm and compressing it until it dissipated harmlessly. Tao stared in disbelief. That's not possible. Goku looked equally surprised. I didn't know I could do that either. The battle concluded with Tao's defeat, not dead, as the assassin expected, but unconscious. Goku's natural mercy prevailed even in victory. The Red Ribbon Army headquarters fell in a single afternoon. Goku moved through defenses designed to stop armies, his Ultra Instinct allowing him to navigate minefields, laser grids, and automated gun emplacements without a scratch. Commander Red watched in horror as security monitors showed the boy approaching his office. "He's coming. Stop him." Black, his loyal adjutant, drew his pistol. "Sir, I suggest we evacuate. Dr. Gero has already taken his research and," a gunshot interrupted him. Red held a smoking pistol, Black's body crumpling to the floor. "No one retreats. I will have that power." When Goku burst through the door moments later, he found Red holding a strange device, a prototype of Dr. Gero's design. "One more step and I activate this," Red threatened. "It'll release a neurotoxin that will kill everyone in a 50-mile radius." Goku stopped, his eyes narrowing. "Why would you hurt innocent people?" "Because I want what you have." Red shouted. "Your power, your abilities, with that, I could rule more than just this army. I could rule the world." "My abilities?" Goku looked genuinely confused. "But I just move the way I always have." "Don't play dumb. Dr. Gero analyzed you. Whatever you're doing, it's not normal. It's beyond human." Something about those words triggered a memory in Goku, a fleeting image of a small pod, of space, of a silver-blue light washing over him. The momentary distraction was all Red needed to lunge forward with the device. What happened next occurred faster than any human eye could track. Goku's Ultra Instinct reacted to the threat, his hand shooting out to stop Red. But Goku's conscious mind, still distracted by the memory fragment, didn't regulate his strength. His palm struck Red's chest with enough force to send the commander crashing through the wall behind him, the device falling harmlessly to the floor. Goku stood frozen, horrified by the unintentional violence. He raced to where Red had fallen, finding the man alive but badly injured. "I'm sorry," Goku said, genuinely distressed. "I didn't mean to hit you so hard." Red coughed, blood speckling his lips. "What, are you?" "I'm just Goku." But for the first time, he wasn't entirely sure that was true. The defeat of the Red Ribbon Army should have been cause for celebration. Instead, it left Goku with uncomfortable questions about himself and his abilities. The memory fragment, his first recollection from before Grandpa Gohan, nagged at him. He sought out Rashi, hoping the old master might have answers. "Ultra Instinct," Rashi repeated, sitting cross-legged on the beach outside Kame House. "It's spoken of in the oldest texts I've studied, a state where the body moves without thought, perfectly responding to all threats. A technique so advanced that only divine beings are said to have mastered it." "But I'm not divine," Goku protested. "I'm just me." Rashi studied him carefully. "Are you sure about that, my boy? Your appearance is human, certainly, but your abilities, and that tail of yours." Goku's hand went to his regrown tail, which had returned shortly after the full moon incident at Pilaf's castle. "What about my tail?" Rashi hesitated. "There are legends of a warrior race from beyond the stars, beings who looked human but possessed tails and tremendous fighting potential. But they were said to be violent, conquest-driven beings. You share none of their temperament, only perhaps some physical traits." "From beyond the stars?" Goku's eyes widened. "You mean I might be an alien?" The idea both terrified and excited him. If true, it might explain his abilities, his difference from others. But it also meant Grandpa Gohan wasn't his true family, that somewhere out there, he might have a people, a history unknown to him. As news of the Red Ribbon Army's defeat spread, it attracted attention from unexpected quarters. In a distant castle, hidden in the perpetual darkness of a demon realm, an ancient Namekian sensed the rising power on Earth. King Piccolo, imprisoned for centuries but recently freed by the foolish Emperor Pilaf, expanded his awareness to investigate this potential threat. Interesting, he murmured, his wrinkled green face twisting into a frown. That energy, it's not quite divine, but... His spawn, Piano, bowed before him. What troubles you, great demon king? A power on earth moves with the grace of the gods, yet resides in a mortal form. Piccolo's eyes narrowed. It could be a threat to our plans, or an opportunity. Prepare my army. It's time we paid this anomaly a visit. Goku's search for answers led him back to the World Tournament, now in its 22nd iteration. 3 years had passed since his first victory, and the boy had grown, not just physically but in his understanding of his abilities. Training with Roshi, Krillin, and Yamcha had taught him to balance his instinctive movements with conscious technique. He could now choose when to let Ultra Instinct flow freely and when to rely on learned martial arts. The combination made him even more formidable, his natural gifts enhanced rather than replaced by training. The tournament brought new challenges. Tien Shinhan and Kaiatsu, students of the Crane School and rivals to the Turtle School, entered with the goal of defeating Roshi's students. Their master, the Crane Hermit, was Roshi's ancient rival and had developed techniques specifically designed to counter traditional martial arts. Tien, in particular, proved a fascinating opponent for Goku. His 3 eyes allowed him to track movements beyond normal human perception, and his training included esoteric techniques that bypassed physical defenses. Their semi-final match became legendary. Tien opened with conventional attacks, testing Goku's defenses and finding them, as expected, impenetrable. You move well, Tien acknowledged. But let's see how you handle attacks that don't need to touch you. He demonstrated with a ki, an invisible wave of ki that struck Goku from a distance. For once, Ultra Instinct didn't activate in time, and Goku took the hit full force, skidding backward on the tournament platform. Interesting. Goku grinned, eyes lighting up at the challenge. Your attack has no physical movement for my body to read. Tien smiled grimly. Exactly. Dodon Ray. The energy beam shot toward Goku, who this time was prepared. His body flowed around the attack, simultaneously closing distance with Tien. What followed was a masterclass in adaptation, Goku's Ultra Instinct rapidly analyzing and developing counters to Tien's esoteric techniques. When Tien split into 4 copies with his multiform technique, Goku's instincts identified the strongest one instantly, ignoring the decoys. When Tien took to the air, Goku's body automatically calculated the perfect jumping angle to intercept him. Impossible, Tien gasped as Goku seemed to anticipate his every move. It's like you're reading my mind. Not your mind, Goku replied. Your body. Everything tells a story before you move, muscle tension, weight distribution, eye movement. My body reads yours. The explanation was surprisingly insightful for Goku, revealing how his growing awareness of Ultra Instinct had developed. He wasn't just moving unconsciously anymore, he was beginning to understand the mechanics behind his gifts. Tien, realizing conventional approaches wouldn't work, resorted to his ultimate technique, the Tri-Beam, a devastatingly powerful attack that used the user's life force as energy. The blast was so powerful it destroyed the tournament ring entirely, leaving both fighters hovering above a crater. Ring out, the announcer called. Both fighters have, wait, Goku interrupted, still floating in midair. Without a cloud or other support, he seemed to be standing on air itself. We're not done yet. Tien stared in shock. You're flying. Without technique? Goku looked down, equally surprised. I guess I am. Ultra Instinct had evolved again, adapting to the immediate threat of falling by instinctively manipulating ki to achieve flight, something Goku had never trained in or even conceptualized before. The match concluded with Goku's victory, but more importantly, with Tien's respect. Whatever power you possess, the three-eyed warrior said, you use it honorably. I misjudged you and your school. The tournament final pitted Goku against a mysterious junior competitor, a small green-skinned child who called himself Junior, but whose key signature set off warning bells in Goku's developing senses. "You're not really a kid, are you?" Goku asked as they faced off. Junior smiled, revealing pointed teeth. "Perceptive. No, I am the offspring of King Piccolo, sent to test your abilities before he deals with you personally." The revelation meant little to Goku, who knew nothing of the Demon King's history. But to Rashi, watching from the sidelines, it was cause for extreme alarm. "Goku! Be careful," the old master called out. "He's spawn of the most dangerous being on Earth." The warning came too late. Junior attacked with malevolent energy techniques unlike anything Goku had encountered, not just physically dangerous but spiritually corrosive. Dark magic mixed with ki in ways that challenged even Ultra Instinct's adaptive capabilities. For the first time, Goku found himself genuinely struggling. Junior's attacks left burning sensations even when they missed by millimeters, the demonic energy reaching beyond physical boundaries. "Your divine movement won't save you from hellfire," Junior taunted. "My father sensed your godly ki and sent me to test its limits. Now I see you're nothing special, just a monkey with good reflexes." The taunt triggered something in Goku, both anger at the dismissal and confusion at the word monkey. Another memory fragment surfaced: moonlight, transformation, power. Distracted, he took a direct hit from Junior's demon flash attack, the corrosive energy burning through his GI and searing his chest. The pain was extraordinary, unlike anything he'd experienced. But instead of deterring him, it focused him. Goku's silver-blue aura intensified as Ultra Instinct responded to the existential threat, adapting to counter even demonic energy. What happened next astonished everyone present. Goku's movements became absolutely perfect, no wasted motion, no unnecessary defense. He seemed to flow like quicksilver around Junior's increasingly desperate attacks, each counter striking with precisely calibrated force. "What are you?" Junior gasped as Goku appeared behind him, moving faster than even demonic senses could track. "I'm Son Goku," he answered simply, before delivering a palm strike that sent Junior crashing into the stadium wall, defeated. As the crowd erupted in cheers for their two-time champion, the pale observer from the previous tournament reappeared, watching with unblinking eyes. This time, he was joined by a second figure, taller, purple-skinned, with distinctly feline features partially hidden beneath a hood. "Well?" the feline being asked irritably. "Is it true?" "Yes, Lord Beerus," the pale observer, Whis, replied. "The boy possesses complete Ultra Instinct. Against demonic energy that should have corrupted mortal ki, his aura remained pure and adapted instantly." Beerus's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. Even I haven't mastered it fully." "Nevertheless." Whis gestured toward Goku, who was celebrating with his friends, unaware of the divine scrutiny. "A scion child, somehow blessed with the technique of the gods." "Science." Beerus spat the word. "Violent, primitive monkeys. How did one acquire divine power?" "That," Whis said thoughtfully, "is the question that woke you from your slumber, is it not? Something unprecedented has occurred, a cosmic accident, perhaps, or interference," Beerus finished, his tail lashing with irritation. "Someone has been meddling where they shouldn't." The tournament's aftermath brought no rest for Goku. Within days, King Piccolo himself emerged, announcing his presence by destroying an entire city with a casual gesture. "Son Goku," his magically amplified voice echoed across the world. "Face me or watch this planet die piece by piece." The challenge wasn't just heard by Goku. Across the planet, fighters who had encountered the extraordinary boy recognized the existential threat. Tien and Kaiotsu abandoned their master's teachings to stand with Goku. Yamcha and Krillin joined without hesitation. Even mercenary Tao, recovered from their previous battle, set aside his assassin contracts. "The Demon King destroys indiscriminately," Tao explained when questioned about his unexpected alliance. "Bad for business." Together, they confronted King Piccolo at his self-proclaimed palace, the royal castle he had seized, its former occupants either dead or enslaved by his spawn. The ancient Namekian sat on a throne of twisted bone and metal, his withered green body belying the immense power within. "So the godling brings friends," he mocked as they entered his throne room. "How touching. You've hurt innocent people," Goku said, stepping forward. "It stops now." Piccolo laughed, the sound like breaking glass. Bold words from a child playing with divine power he doesn't understand. The Demon King's first attack wasn't physical but metaphysical, a wave of corrupting energy that infected the very air. Krillin and Yamcha collapsed instantly, overwhelmed by the malevolent force. Tien and Kaiotsu managed to resist longer thanks to their mental training, but even they succumbed within minutes. Only Goku remained standing, his silver-blue aura naturally repelling the corruption. "Interesting," Piccolo observed. "Your ki has divine qualities, yet you're clearly mortal. What a fascinating contradiction." "I don't know what you're talking about," Goku replied honestly. "But I won't let you hurt anyone else." Their battle shattered the palace and reshaped the surrounding landscape. Piccolo wielded techniques lost to the mortal world for centuries, demon magic, corrupted ki, even reality distortion in limited areas. Against any other opponent, it would have been an extinction-level event. But Goku's Ultra Instinct adapted continuously. When Piccolo created gravity wells to immobilize him, Goku's body automatically adjusted its ki output to compensate. When the Demon King summoned acidic rain from impossible clouds, Goku's aura intensified to neutralize each droplet before it touched his skin. "You're not just dodging," Piccolo realized with growing alarm. "You're evolving during the fight itself." It was true. Each moment of combat enhanced Goku's connection to Ultra Instinct, his body learning and adapting to threats it had never encountered before. The silver-blue aura grew more pronounced, visible now even to normal human eyes. In desperation, Piccolo played his final card. "Enough games. Now you face my true power." The Demon King began a transformation, his withered body expanding, muscles bulging as he tapped into the full extent of his dark power. The very sky darkened as reality itself protested the concentration of malevolent energy. Goku watched calmly, his body automatically shifting into the perfect stance to meet this new threat. The transformed Piccolo was truly terrifying, 3 times his previous size, crackling with dark energy, eyes glowing red with hatred. "Now, Godling, you die." What followed wasn't so much a battle as a demonstration of Ultra Instinct's ultimate potential. As Piccolo unleashed his most devastating attacks, Goku's body responded with perfect counters, each movement not just defensive but strategically offensive. "How?" Piccolo roared as another world-ending attack dissipated against Goku's perfect defense. "How?" "I don't know," Goku answered truthfully. "My body just moves." The simplicity of the answer enraged Piccolo further. With a howl of frustration, he gathered all his remaining power into a single attack, a sphere of concentrated evil that distorted space itself. "Dodge this and the planet dies," he screamed, hurling the attack not at Goku but at the ground beneath them. Goku didn't hesitate. Instead of dodging, Ultra Instinct drove him forward, directly into the path of the attack. His hand extended, palm flat, silver-blue energy swirling around his fingers. When the attacks met, the resulting explosion was visible from space, a perfect sphere of light that engulfed both combatants. Within that sphere, impossible energies battled for dominance, demon magic versus divine instinct. When the light faded, only Goku remained standing. Piccolo lay broken at his feet, reduced to his original withered form, the corruption purged from his body by Goku's counter. "Finish it," the Demon King wheezed. "End me." But Goku shook his head. "No. There's been enough destruction." This mercy, incomprehensible to the Demon King, left him speechless. As his former allies recovered and approached, Goku turned away from his defeated enemy. That proved to be a mistake. With his last reserves of strength, Piccolo fired a piercing beam at Goku's unprotected back. But even with his conscious attention elsewhere, Ultra Instinct remained vigilant. Goku's body twisted impossibly fast, his hand rising to catch the attack. "I spared you," Goku said, disappointment evident in his voice. "Don't make me regret it." He closed his fist, extinguishing Piccolo's attack like snuffing a candle. The Demon King collapsed, unconscious but alive, a fact that would have significant consequences in years to come. In the aftermath, as his friends recovered and civilization began rebuilding from Piccolo's brief reign of terror, Goku found himself more unsettled than ever. The questions about his origins, his abilities, and his purpose had only multiplied. Rashi found him sitting alone atop Korin's tower, gazing at the stars. "Troubled, my boy?" Goku nodded. "Everyone keeps talking about gods and aliens and divine power. But I'm just me. I was happy when it was just me and Grandpa Gohan in the mountains." The old master sat beside him. "Life rarely remains simple, Goku. Great power brings great challenges, and great attention. I didn't ask for this power. Few worthy of power ever do." Rashi stroked his beard thoughtfully. "But perhaps the question isn't why you have this power, but what you'll choose to do with it." Goku considered this. "I just want to become stronger and protect my friends." "A worthy goal." Rashi nodded approvingly. "But I suspect the universe has bigger plans for you, whether you want them or not." How right he was. That night, as Goku finally slept after days of battle, a shadow fell across his bed. Two figures stood watching him, Whis and Beerus, their divine presence masked from mortal senses. "He's just a child," Whis observed. "A child with the power of the gods." Beerus scowled. "A dangerous anomaly. He should be eliminated before he fully understands what he possesses." "And yet," Whis countered, "he defeated a demon king without malice or cruelty. Perhaps this accident of fate has placed divine power exactly where it belongs, in the hands of one whose instincts are pure." Beerus's tail lashed irritably. "Sentimentality doesn't suit you, Whis. Observation, not sentiment." The angel smiled enigmatically. "Besides, aren't you curious? A scion with ultra instinct, the possibilities are fascinating." "Fine," Beerus conceded. "We'll watch and wait. But the moment he becomes a threat to cosmic balance, yes, yes." Whis waved dismissively. "Destruction and chaos, your usual solution. But I suspect this one might surprise even you, Lord Beerus." As they vanished, Goku stirred in his sleep, murmuring something about food. Despite godly power flowing through his veins, despite battles that had reshaped landscapes, he remained in many ways a simple boy with simple desires. But the universe had indeed taken notice. Far beyond Earth, across the vast expanse of space, word began to spread of a scion unlike any other, a scion who moved with the grace of the gods themselves. And on a distant planet, a proud prince of a dead race heard these whispers and felt his blood boil with equal parts rage and anticipation. "Kakarot," Vegeta murmured, the name bitter on his tongue. Impossible. The real challenges were just beginning. Chapter 2, Challengers Rising. 3 years can change a lot. For Son Goku, they changed everything. 16-year-old Goku stood beneath a waterfall, the crushing pressure of the water barely registering against his skin. His eyes closed, body perfectly still despite the torrent. Around him, the water didn't flow normally, it split and curved, creating an almost dry sphere around his body without him consciously directing it. "Show off," Krillin called from the shore, arms crossed but grinning. Goku opened his eyes and laughed. "I'm not doing it on purpose. My body just does stuff." He stepped out from under the waterfall, completely dry despite having stood beneath thousands of gallons of rushing water. Since defeating King Piccolo, Goku had discovered his Ultra Instinct had evolved again, no longer just protecting him from attacks, but from any potential discomfort or inconvenience. "Must be nice," Krillin sighed, tossing him a towel anyway. "Some of us have to actually work at being awesome." Goku caught the towel and dried his hair out of habit rather than necessity. The years had transformed him from a child into a young man, taller, more defined, but still with the same innocent eyes and wild hair. I work hard too. It was true. Despite his natural advantages, Goku trained relentlessly. Ultra Instinct might make his body move perfectly, but he pushed himself daily to increase his strength, speed, and energy control. The power that flowed through him felt limitless, but Goku understood instinctively that he needed to grow worthy of it. Master Roshi wants us back before sundown, Krillin said, checking the position of the sun. Something about important visitors. Goku nodded, retrieving his weighted undershirt, now 500 pounds, and slipping it on without the slightest strain. Race you back. Krillin groaned. With or without your freaky god speed? I'll go normal speed, Goku promised, eyes twinkling. You don't know what normal speed is anymore, Krillin grumbled, but took a ready position anyway. They shot off through the forest, Goku deliberately holding back to keep pace with his best friend. Even so, he moved with impossible grace, his body automatically finding the optimal path through branches and undergrowth without conscious thought. Back at Kame House, they found Master Roshi in conversation with two strangers, a tall man with a scar across his face and a blue-haired woman who brightened immediately upon seeing them. Goku. Bulma jumped up, rushing over to hug him. Look how tall you've gotten. Bulma. Goku returned the hug, lifting her off her feet. What are you doing here? And who's your friend? The scarred man stood, offering a hand. Name's Yamcha. We've met before, but I had longer hair then. And was trying to rob you. Goku blinked, then recognition dawned. The desert bandit. With the flying cat. Former bandit, Yamcha corrected with a grin. Your friend Bulma helped me go straight. I'm training to enter the next world tournament. Roshi cleared his throat. They're not here for a social call, I'm afraid. Show him, Bulma. Bulma's expression turned serious as she pulled out a small device. I've been monitoring global communications as part of my father's security network. 3 days ago, I intercepted this. She pressed a button, and a holographic image appeared, a map with red dots spread across it, and a symbol Goku recognized immediately. The Red Ribbon Army? I thought I defeated them years ago. You crushed their military operations, Bulma corrected, but some key figures escaped. They've been rebuilding, and now they're hunting Dragon Balls again, with a vengeance. Roshi nodded gravely. And according to our intelligence, they're not just after world domination this time. They're specifically targeting you, Goku. Me? Why? Goku looked genuinely confused. Bulma and Roshi exchanged glances. They want to study you, Bulma explained gently. Your abilities, they're beyond anything science can explain. Dr. Gero, their chief scientist, is obsessed with understanding how you move the way you do. So they can copy it. Or counter it, Yamcha added. Word is they've been developing fighters specifically designed to challenge your, what did Roshi call it? Ultra Instinct, the old master supplied. And yes, they've been gathering intelligence on your fights, analyzing your movements, looking for weaknesses. Goku brightened. So they're making stronger fighters? That sounds great. I've been getting bored with training. The others stared at him in disbelief. Goku, Krillin said slowly, they want to capture you, experiment on you, and probably kill you afterward. Oh. Goku considered this, then shrugged. Well, they can try. But I'm not gonna let them hurt innocent people to get to me. Roshi stroked his beard thoughtfully. Perhaps we should take the fight to them instead of waiting for their next move. You mean attack them? Bulma asked, surprised by the normally peaceful master's suggestion. Precisely. Our intelligence shows they've established a new headquarters in the mountains north of East City. Better to confront them there than wait for them to endanger civilians. Goku nodded enthusiastically. Let's go now. Hold on, Bulma raised a hand. You can't just rush in without a plan. They've had years to prepare for you specifically. So. Goku stretched casually. I'm stronger now too. It's not about strength, Bulma insisted. They've been studying you, Goku. They know how Ultra Instinct works, at least on a theoretical level. They've developed technologies to counter it. Goku tilted his head. Like what? Bulma pulled out another device, projecting a series of scientific diagrams. From what we've gathered, they've created systems that don't telegraph movement at all, randomized attack patterns, gravity manipulation, even temporal distortion fields. I don't know what half those words mean, Goku admitted. It means, Krillin translated, they've figured out your body responds to signals before attacks happen. So they're making weapons that don't give any signals until it's too late. Oh. Goku considered this, then grinned. Sounds challenging. Rashi sighed. Your enthusiasm is admirable, but perhaps caution is warranted. We'll need a team. I'm in, Krillin said immediately. Me too, Yamcha added. And I'll provide tech support. Bulma said, patting a capsule case on her belt. I've developed some countermeasures of my own. Goku looked at his friends with genuine appreciation. Despite his incredible power, the loyalty of people willing to stand beside him meant more than any ability. Thanks, guys. But I don't want anyone getting hurt because of me. We're not doing it just for you, knucklehead, Krillin punched his arm playfully. The Red Ribbon Army threatens everyone. We're in this together. They set out the next morning, Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, and Bulma, with Master Roshi deciding to remain behind as tactical support, though everyone suspected he just wanted to watch his exercise videos in peace. Their approach to the Red Ribbon Army's new mountain fortress was deliberately indirect, with Bulma's stealth technology masking their energy signatures as they scouted the perimeter. Impressive setup, Yamcha whispered as they observed from a ridge. Automated turrets, motion sensors, even key detection grids. Can you sense anyone strong inside, Goku? Krillin asked. Goku closed his eyes, extending his senses. His ability to detect ki had grown exponentially in recent years, another aspect of his continuously evolving Ultra Instinct. A few dozen regular soldiers, some weird mechanical energies that don't feel alive, and, his eyes snapped open. 3 strong fighters. Really strong. And something else, something artificial but powerful. Bulma checked her scanner. The artificial signature is probably their new android prototype. My dad's intelligence network picked up rumors about it. Supposedly Dr. Gero has been trying to create a being with reflexes that match yours. And the 3 strong ones? Yamcha asked. Unknown, Bulma admitted. But they appeared shortly after the Red Ribbon Army began rebuilding. Mercenaries, probably. Goku's expression shifted to one of eager anticipation. This might actually be fun. Their infiltration began smoothly, too smoothly, in retrospect. The outer defenses fell easily, the automated systems proving no match for Goku's Ultra Instinct and his friends' well-coordinated support. They reached the central compound without triggering a single alarm, which made Bulma immediately suspicious. This is too easy, she whispered as they crept through a surprisingly empty corridor. They must know we're here. Of course we know you're here, a smooth voice echoed from hidden speakers. We've been expecting you, Son Goku. The corridor transformed around them, walls shifting, floor panels rotating, the entire architecture reconfiguring into a massive circular chamber. Armed soldiers emerged from hidden compartments, surrounding them. At the chamber's far end stood a man with long blonde hair and cold blue eyes, flanked by 2 other fighters, one enormous and muscular, the other small and lithe. Welcome to my humble facility, the blonde man said with a mocking bow. I am General Blue, though we've met before when I was merely a colonel. Goku squinted. I remember you. You had that weird psychic power. Blue smiled thinly. Indeed. And you, somehow, were able to resist it. A mystery that has fascinated Dr. Gero greatly. Where is Gero? Bulma demanded. Is he behind this rebuild? The good doctor prefers to work in isolation, Blue replied dismissively. I handle the practical applications of his research. He gestured to his companions. Allow me to introduce Colonel Violet, our infiltration specialist, and Major Copper, our strength expert. The woman, Violet, offered a cold smile, while the massive man simply cracked his knuckles. So you're the new Red Ribbon leadership? Yamcha asked, subtly shifting into a fighting stance. Blue laughed. Oh no. We merely serve the new commander. He pressed a button on his wrist device. Who is quite eager to meet the legendary Son Goku. A section of the floor slid open, and a platform rose from below. On it stood what appeared to be a teenage boy with pale skin, cold eyes, and the red ribbon insignia emblazoned on his chest. Subject G, Blue. Announced proudly. Dr. Gero's masterpiece. The android, for it clearly wasn't human, stepped forward, its movements uncannily smooth. Son Goku, it said, voice eerily childlike. Your movement patterns have been programmed into my combat systems. I know every technique you've ever displayed. Goku studied the artificial being curiously. You're a robot. Android, Blue corrected. A perfect fusion of mechanical and organic components, designed specifically to counter your Ultra Instinct. Krillin tensed beside Goku. We'll take the officers. You handle the android. But before they could move, Blue raised his hand. His eyes glowed with psychic energy that swept over the group. Freeze! Yamcha and Krillin immediately stiffened, caught in the psychic hold. Bulma, slightly behind them, managed to duck behind a column, escaping the direct effect. Goku, however, remained unaffected, his Ultra Instinct automatically neutralizing the psychic intrusion. Fascinating, Blue murmured. Your ability has evolved since our last encounter. No matter. He nodded to the android. Proceed with capture protocol. What followed wasn't so much a battle as a scientific experiment. The android moved with calculated precision, its attacks designed specifically to test Goku's reflexes. Unlike normal opponents whose movements telegraphed their intentions, the android gave absolutely no warning before striking, its limbs moving from perfect stillness to maximum velocity instantaneously. For the first time, Goku found his Ultra Instinct truly challenged. The android's first punch grazed his cheek, not enough to hurt him significantly, but enough to draw blood. Goku's eyes widened in surprise. You hit me. Affirmative, the android replied tonelessly. Your Ultra Instinct responds to biomechanical cues and energy fluctuations that precede attack. I possess neither. My movements initiate at full velocity with no preliminary muscle tension. Goku wiped the blood from his cheek, his expression shifting from surprise to excitement. That's amazing. But let's see if you can do it again. The battle intensified, Goku now actively engaging rather than simply relying on his automatic defenses. The android was incredibly fast and strong, its programming continuously adapting to Goku's movements. Meanwhile, Bulma had managed to circle behind a control panel, working to free Krillin and Yamcha from Blue's psychic hold. Come on, she muttered, fingers flying across the keys. She'd analyzed Blue's abilities years ago and had theorized that his psychic powers might be amplified by Red Ribbon technology. If she could just find the right frequency. Goku and the android traded blows at incredible speed, their movements blurring beyond normal perception. But something was changing. Goku's silver-blue aura began to intensify, his Ultra Instinct evolving in real time to counter the new challenge. Adaptation detected, the android announced, its voice remaining emotionless even as its attacks began to miss. Recalibrating. General Blue watched with growing concern. Subject G's advantage is decreasing. Initiate Protocol Omega. The android's eyes flashed, and suddenly the air around Goku distorted. Gravity intensified 100-fold, the localized field pressing him toward the floor. Gravity manipulation, Blue explained smugly. No matter how perfect your reflexes, they mean nothing if your body is too heavy to move. Goku grimaced as he fought against the crushing pressure. His knees buckled, forcing him to one knee. But his aura continued to glow, his ultra instinct seeking a solution to this new problem. Got it. Bulma's triumphant voice rang out as she slammed her palm onto a large red button. The facility's lights flickered, and Blue's psychic hold suddenly released, allowing Krillin and Yamcha to move again. What did you do? Krillin asked, shaking off the lingering effects. Electromagnetic pulse targeted at their psionic amplifiers, Bulma explained hurriedly. Now help Goku. They didn't need to be told twice. Krillin and Yamcha launched themselves at Colonel Violet and Major Copper, engaging the Red Ribbon officers while Bulma continued hacking into the facility's systems. Meanwhile, Goku was still struggling against the crushing gravity. The android approached methodically, its movements unaffected by the gravitational field. Your capture will advance Dr. Gero's research significantly, it stated, reaching for Goku's neck. Something snapped inside Goku, not anger, exactly, but determination. His aura flared brilliantly, the silver-blue light expanding outward in pulsating waves. The gravity field wavered as his ki directly counteracted its effects. That's impossible, Blue gasped, watching his seemingly perfect trap failing. Goku rose slowly to his feet, his body adjusting to move normally even under the extreme conditions. My grandpa always said nothing's impossible if you push yourself enough. What happened next occurred faster than most human eyes could track. Goku's ultra instinct, having adapted to both the android's attack patterns and the gravity manipulation, went on the offensive. He moved with renewed purpose, each strike perfectly placed to target the android's critical systems. The android attempted to counter, its programming rapidly updating, but it was fighting a losing battle against an opponent who evolved faster than its calculations could account for. With a final precisely aimed strike, Goku's hand punched through the android's chest, extracting a glowing power core. Sorry, Goku said, genuinely apologetic as the android collapsed. You were really strong, but you rely too much on programming. Real fighting needs something more. General Blue's composure finally cracked. Kill him, he screamed at his remaining officers. Activate all security protocols. The chamber erupted into chaos, automated turrets emerging from walls, energy barriers forming to trap the intruders, and both Violet and Copper attacking with previously hidden weapons. Krillin and Yamcha fought valiantly, their years of training showing as they handled multiple threats simultaneously. Bulma worked frantically at the control panel, trying to disable the facility's defenses. Goku, now free of the gravity field, moved to help his friends, only to find Blue directly in his path, the general's eyes glowing with renewed psychic energy. I've been saving this for you, Blue snarled, his entire body pulsing with an unnatural light. Psionic overload. The psychic attack wasn't aimed at controlling Goku's body but at overwhelming his mind directly. Even Ultra Instinct required some level of consciousness to function, and Blue's attack targeted the barrier. Between Goku's instinctive movements and his conscious thought. For a crucial moment, Goku faltered, his movements becoming uncoordinated as his mind and body temporarily desynchronized. Blue pressed his advantage, launching forward with a ki-enhanced punch that caught Goku squarely in the chest, sending him crashing into a wall. Not so untouchable now, are you? Blue taunted, preparing another psychic assault. Goku pushed himself from the rubble, his expression unusually serious. That was a good trick, he acknowledged. But tricks only work once. His aura shifted subtly, the silver-blue energy now flowing through his eyes as well, giving them an otherworldly glow. Blue's second psychic attack simply washed over him, finding no purchase. How? Blue demanded, backing away. I don't really know, Goku answered honestly. My body just learns. The counterattack was decisive. Goku moved with renewed purpose, Ultra Instinct now actively guiding rather than merely reacting. Blue's psychic defenses shattered under precisely targeted strikes that seemed to hit him from impossible angles. With their leader down, the remaining Red Ribbon forces quickly crumbled. Colonel Violet activated an escape pod, disappearing before anyone could stop her. Major Copper fought to the last but ultimately fell to a combined attack from Krillin and Yamcha. As the dust settled, Bulma finally gained complete access to the facility's systems. "I've got control. And you guys need to see this." She projected a holographic display showing a global map with dozens of locations marked. These are Red Ribbon facilities still active around the world. And these, she highlighted several blinking points, are experimental subjects. They've been kidnapping martial artists and fighters to experiment on them, trying to replicate what they call the Goku phenomenon. "We need to free those people," Goku said immediately. "And we will," Bulma assured him. "I've already transmitted this data to my father. The King's forces will raid most of these facilities within hours." "What about Gero?" Krillin asked, looking around at the destroyed command center. "He wasn't here." Bulma's expression darkened. "According to these files, he's gone completely off-grid. He took his most advanced research and vanished about 6 months ago." "So he's still out there," Yamcha concluded grimly. "Building more androids, probably." Goku studied the fallen android thoughtfully. This one was really strong. "If Gero builds more like it but better, then we'll handle them too," Krillin said firmly. As they prepared to leave, Goku paused by the android's remains, a strange feeling of unease washing over him. Something told him this was just the beginning, that Dr. Gero wouldn't stop until he had created the perfect counter to Ultra Instinct. He didn't realize how right he was. Word of the Red Ribbon Army's second defeat spread quickly through the global martial arts community. For most, it was simply confirmation of Son Goku's legendary status. But for a select few, it represented something more, a challenge, an opportunity, or a threat. In a secluded compound hidden in the mountains, an elderly man with a pointed gray beard watched footage of Goku's battle with the android. His mechanical eye whirred as it analyzed every movement, every flicker of that silver-blue aura. "Fascinating," Dr. Gero murmured. Subject G performed admirably, lasting 3.7 minutes longer than projected against the target. Behind him stood several capsule-like containers, each housing a humanoid form in various stages of development. The nearest bore the label, Android 13, and contained what appeared to be a completed model awaiting activation. But still insufficient, Gero continued, making notes on a holographic display. "The boy's adaptation rate exceeds my calculations. Traditional programming cannot match evolutionary reflexes." He moved to another section of his laboratory, where a large computer hummed quietly. Its screen displayed an unusual project title, Cell. Perhaps the answer isn't to counter his abilities, Gero mused, but to absorb them. Meanwhile, across the world, another figure had taken notice of Goku's growing legend. In a remote temple high in the mountains, where the Crane School of Martial Arts trained its disciples, Master Shin watched his students with increasing dissatisfaction. Again, he barked at Tien Shinhan, his three-eyed prize pupil. "Your movements are still too predictable." Tien, drenched in sweat after hours of continuous training, resumed his forms. Beside him, Kaiotsu practiced levitation techniques, his small body hovering unsteadily. "Master," Tien ventured between sequences, "I've been studying the footage of Son Goku's techniques. His movement style is unlike anything I've seen." "Focus on your own training," Shin snapped. "That boy's abilities are unnatural, a fluke, not true martial arts." But later that night, alone in his quarters, Shin reviewed the same footage Tien had mentioned. His wizened face contorted with a mix of envy and fascination. "It cannot be," he whispered, freezing the image on Goku's silver-blue aura. "The realm of gods, accessed by a mere boy." He pulled an ancient scroll from a hidden compartment, unfurling it carefully. The faded illustrations depicted warriors surrounded by auras identical to Goku's, with text in a language long forgotten by most of humanity. Shun's brother, the Demon King Piccolo, had been defeated by this boy. And now Shun understood why. If his suspicions were correct, Son Goku possessed a power that hadn't been seen in the mortal realm for thousands of years. Tien must surpass him, Shun decided, rolling the scroll closed. Not through the same means, but through techniques that render such reflexes meaningless. He began drafting a new training regimen, one focused not on matching Goku's speed or instinct, but on attacks that couldn't be dodged regardless of reflexes. Invisible ki blasts, area effect techniques, even dimensional manipulation that the Crane school had forbidden for generations. If Goku's body could move perfectly, then Tien would learn to attack the space itself, not the opponent within it. The months that followed brought an uneasy peace. With the Red Ribbon Army dismantled and Dr. Gero in hiding, Goku returned to his training, now joined regularly by Krillin, Yamcha, and occasionally even Bulma, who had developed an interest in martial arts theory, if not practice. They established a routine at Kame House, with mornings dedicated to physical training and afternoons to sparring or energy control. Goku, despite his natural advantages, trained with the same enthusiasm as his friends, pushing his limits daily. "I still don't understand why you train so hard," Krillin remarked one evening as they cooled down after a particularly intense session. "You've already got Ultra Instinct. What more do you need?" Goku paused, considering the question more deeply than he might have in the past. "Ultra Instinct makes my body move perfectly," he said slowly, "but it doesn't make me stronger or give me more energy. I need to build those up the regular way." "Huh. I never thought about it like that." Krillin looked impressed by his friend's insight. "So your body dodges perfectly, but your punches only hit as hard as you've trained them to." "Exactly." Goku grinned. "Plus, it's fun." Master Roshi, who had been pretending to nap nearby, opened one eye. "There's wisdom in that approach, Goku. Perfect movement means little without the power to back it up." The peaceful routine was shattered one sunny afternoon when the skies suddenly darkened. It wasn't the natural darkness of storm clouds but something more ominous, as if reality itself was being distorted. "What the heck?" Yamcha shielded his eyes, looking upward as the air above Kame House rippled like water. Goku immediately dropped into a defensive stance, his Ultra Instinct responding to the threat before his conscious mind fully registered it. "Something's coming." A tear opened in the sky, not quite a portal, more like a wound in space itself. Through it stepped a figure that made even Roshi gasp in recognition. Piccolo. But this wasn't the Demon King they had defeated. This Piccolo was younger, more vital, his green skin smoother and his body radiating power that dwarfed his predecessors. "Not quite," the Namekian said, touching down on the beach with casual grace. "I am Piccolo Jr., son of the Demon King you murdered, Son Goku." "I didn't murder him," Goku countered, maintaining his stance. "He was alive when we left him." "Alive but broken," Piccolo Jr. snarled. "He used the last of his strength to create me, his reincarnation, his legacy, and your executioner." Without further warning, he attacked. Unlike the original Piccolo's corruption-based techniques, Junior wielded pure, concentrated power. His first energy blast vaporized a section of the island, sending seawater exploding upward. Goku's Ultra Instinct engaged instantly, his body flowing around the attack while simultaneously pushing his friends to safety. "Get back," he called to them. "This one's different." Different indeed. Piccolo Jr. fought with a combination of his predecessors' demonic techniques and fresh innovations of his own. His limbs extended impossibly, attacking from unexpected angles. His energy blasts curved mid-flight, changing direction to target blind spots. More challenging still, he could split into multiple identical forms, each with independent thought and strategy, a significant evolution of the afterimage technique that confused even Ultra Instinct's predictive capabilities. "My father underestimated you," Junior said as they clashed midair. He fought alone against your friends. I won't make that mistake. He snapped his fingers, and the spatial tier widened. Through it emerged 3 more warriors, each bearing the distinctive green skin and antennae of Namekians, but twisted with demonic energy. Meet my brothers, Junior announced with malicious pride. Drum, piano, and cymbal, each born for the sole purpose of countering a specific aspect of your fighting style. The battle exploded across the island and surrounding ocean. Drum, massive and bulky, attacked with overwhelming force, testing the limits of Goku's strength. Piano, thin and quick, launched precisely timed strikes designed to create openings in Goku's defenses. Cymbal, hovering above, coordinated their movements while launching energy attacks to limit Goku's mobility. Despite his Ultra Instinct, Goku found himself genuinely challenged. The coordinated attack pattern forced him to make conscious decisions rather than relying purely on instinct, exactly as Piccolo had designed. Your famous reflexes won't save you from strategic warfare, Junior taunted. For minds against one, each attacking with perfect coordination. He was right, to a point. Ultra Instinct handled immediate physical threats automatically, but tactical thinking still required conscious effort. Goku found himself taking hits when forced to choose between multiple simultaneous threats. Krillin and Yamcha attempted to join the fight, only to be casually swatted aside by Drum. Even Master Roshi's Kamehameha was ineffective against the demonic Namekians, their bodies regenerating almost instantly. We need a plan. Bulma shouted from where she had taken cover. Goku, they're using your reflexes against you, forcing you to think instead of react. Her observation was precisely on target. Every time Goku started to gain an advantage through pure instinct, the Namekians would present a tactical problem requiring conscious decision, creating a momentary gap in his defenses. Thanks, Bulma. Goku called back, narrowly avoiding Piano's stretching arm. So I need to stop thinking. What? No. That's not what but Bulma's objection came too late. Goku closed his eyes mid-battle, deliberately emptying his mind. It was counterintuitive, letting go of conscious control while facing 4 deadly opponents, but something deeper than strategy guided the decision. His silver-blue aura intensified dramatically, enveloping his entire body in rippling energy. When his eyes opened again, they glowed with the same light, his expression unnaturally calm. What is this? Piccolo Jr. demanded, sensing the shift in Goku's energy. What followed wasn't just Ultra Instinct as a defensive mechanism, but as a complete fighting system. Goku's body moved with absolute efficiency, not just avoiding attacks but positioning constantly for optimal counterstrikes. Each movement flowed into the next without hesitation or thought, his body responding to all 4 opponents simultaneously. Drum fell first, his regeneration failing against strikes that somehow severed the connection between his body and the demonic energy sustaining it. Piano followed seconds later, his speed advantage neutralized by Goku's perfect predictive movement. Cymbal attempted to escape back through the spatial tear, but Goku was there before him, a Kamehameha wave forming and firing in one continuous motion that left no time for evasion. Finally, only Junior remained, his confident expression replaced with dawning horror. What are you? He whispered. Goku couldn't answer, in this state beyond conscious thought. His body simply moved forward, hands positioned for the final strike. Wait. Junior backed away, his arrogance evaporating. I surrender. The words penetrated Goku's trance-like state, his aura flickering as consciousness reasserted itself. You surrender? Junior nodded, genuine fear in his eyes. What you just did, that wasn't human. That wasn't even mortal. Goku blinked, his eyes returning to normal as the silver-blue aura receded. I just stopped thinking and let my body do what comes naturally. Natural? Junior laughed bitterly. There's nothing natural about that power. It's divine energy, the key of the gods themselves. My father recognized it but couldn't believe a human child could possess it. The revelation hung in the air as Krillin and Yamcha cautiously approached, supporting each other with their injuries. Divine energy? Rashi asked, his tone unusually serious. You're certain? Junior nodded grimly. The legends speak of it, ultra instinct, the state where even thought is too slow, where body and spirit move as one with the universe itself. It is said that not even the gods of destruction have fully mastered it. His eyes fixed on Goku. Yet somehow, you wield it instinctively. Gods of destruction? Goku repeated, confusion evident. What are those? Junior opened his mouth to answer but suddenly stiffened, his antennae twitching. Something's coming, he whispered. Something far worse than me. The sky darkened again, but differently this time, a mechanical shadow rather than a dimensional tear. A massive circular ship descended through the clouds, its alien design unlike anything they had seen before. Science, Junior spat the word like a curse. I didn't think any survived the destruction of their planet. Science? Goku repeated. The word triggered something, a fleeting memory of a pod, of space, of his earliest moments before Grandpa Gohan. The ship hovered above the island, a beam of light projecting down to deposit a single figure on the beach. He was tall and muscular, with long wild hair and armor of unfamiliar design. Most distinctive was the furry brown tail wrapped around his waist, identical to the one Goku had lost years ago. The stranger surveyed the battle-damaged island with obvious disdain before his gaze settled on Goku. His stern expression shifted to one of shock, then recognition. Kakarot, he said, his voice rough with disbelief. Is that you, brother? Brother? The word hung in the air between them. Goku's friends looked from him to the stranger and back, equally confused. My name is Son Goku, Goku replied cautiously, his ultra instinct keeping his body ready for any threat despite his outward calm. The stranger's face hardened. No. You are Kakarot, second son of Bardock, sent to this pathetic planet as an infant to prepare it for conquest. His eyes narrowed as he studied Goku more carefully. But something's wrong with you. Your energy, it's not purely Saiyan. Who are you? Rashi demanded, stepping forward despite his age. And what do you want with Goku? I am Raditz, elite warrior of the Saiyan race, the stranger announced proudly. And I've come to retrieve my brother for our prince. His gaze flicked to Goku's waist. Where is your tail, Kakarot? And why haven't you completed your mission? This planet should have been cleared of life years ago. The pieces clicked together in Goku's mind, fragmented memories, the tail he'd lost, his unusual strength even before Ultra Instinct. I'm an alien. You're a Saiyan, Raditz corrected impatiently. The greatest warrior race in the universe. Though you've clearly gone native on this mud ball. He spat on the ground. Disgraceful. Piccolo Jr., who had remained silent during this exchange, suddenly laughed. So the boy with godlike power is actually an alien monkey? The irony is exquisite. Raditz's head snapped toward the Namekian. What did you say? Godlike power? He doesn't know what he has, Junior replied with a smirk. But you're outmatched, Saiyan. Even I couldn't touch him when he tapped into his full abilities. Raditz touched a device attached to his ear, which beeped as it analyzed Goku's power level. Impossible, he muttered. The reading keeps fluctuating, and that silver energy isn't registering properly. Look, Goku said, stepping forward, I don't know anything about being a Saiyan or having a brother. I was raised here as Son Goku, and Earth is my home. I won't help you conquer or destroy it. Raditz's expression darkened. Then you leave me no choice, brother. Prince Vegeta wants you brought to him, conscious or not. The attack came with blinding speed, far faster than any human opponent Goku had faced. But to his ultra instinct, it might as well have been in slow motion. Goku's body simply wasn't there when Raditz's fist arrived, having shifted slightly to the right. Raditz blinked in confusion, then attacked again with a complex combination of strikes that would have overwhelmed any normal fighter. Each missed by millimeters as Goku's body automatically flowed around them. What is this? Raditz growled, frustration mounting. Fight back, Kakarot. I don't want to fight you, Goku replied calmly. But I won't let you take me either. Raditz's next attack incorporated energy blasts, sizzling purple ki that he fired at point-blank range. Goku's hands moved instinctively, not just dodging but redirecting each blast harmlessly skyward. The display visibly unnerved Raditz, who backed away slightly. That technique, it's not Saiyan. Where did you learn it? I didn't learn it, Goku explained. I've always had it, as far as I can remember. Raditz's face contorted with fury and confusion. Impossible. No Saiyan moves like that, not even our prince. He pressed the device on his ear again. Vegeta, do you copy? We have a situation. Kakarot is alive but, changed. He's using some kind of technique I've never seen before. A crackling voice responded, audible to everyone present, explain, Raditz. How strong is he? I can't tell, sire. My scouter can't get a stable reading, and he's dodging everything without effort. There's some kind of silver blue energy around him that, silver blue? The voice suddenly sharpened with interest. Show me. Raditz adjusted his device, apparently transmitting visual data. After a moment of silence, the voice returned, now tight with controlled rage. Ultra Instinct. Somehow, this low-class warrior has achieved what even gods struggle to master. A pause. Change of plans. Bring him alive, unharmed. Use whatever means necessary. Yes, Prince Vegeta. Raditz lowered his hand, his expression now calculating. You heard him, brother. I'm taking you back, one way or another. He reached into his armor and withdrew a small device. Since I can't beat you physically, perhaps this will persuade you. He pressed a button, and a holographic image appeared, a city filled with people going about their daily lives. This is East City, less than 100 miles from here, Raditz explained coldly. My ship's weapons are currently locked onto it. Either you come willingly, or I reduce it to ash with everyone in it. Goku's face hardened. You'd kill innocent people just to get to me? They're not innocent, they're vermin infesting a planet marked for Saiyan conquest, Raditz replied dismissively. Their lives mean nothing. They mean everything to me, Goku countered. His silver-blue aura began to manifest again, more controlled than before. And I won't let you harm them. Raditz smiled cruelly. Then you have 10 seconds to surrender, brother. 10, 9. The countdown never reached 0. With speed that even Raditz's enhanced Saiyan perceptions couldn't track, Goku closed the distance between them. One moment he was standing several meters away, the next his hand was clamped around Raditz's wrist, crushing the remote control. What the? Raditz's shock was cut short as Goku's other hand struck his chest, a precisely targeted blow that somehow bypassed his armor to hit a nerve cluster beneath. The Saiyan warrior collapsed, paralyzed but conscious. How? He gasped, unable to move his limbs. No Saiyan knows such techniques. I'm not just a Saiyan, Goku replied quietly. I'm Son Goku of Earth. Krillin approached cautiously, eyeing the immobilized Raditz. What do we do with him now? And what about his prince? Yamcha added nervously. Sounds like there are more of these guys out there. Goku looked troubled. I need answers first. He knelt beside Raditz. Tell me everything, about the Saiyans, about why you're here, about this prince who wants me. Raditz glared defiantly. Why should I tell you anything, traitor? Because, Piccolo Jr. interjected, the alternative is that I extract the information directly from your mind. Namekian telepathy is, unpleasant for the subject. Faced with this threat, Raditz's defiance crumbled. Fine. What do you want to know? Start with the Saiyans, Goku instructed. What are we? Were, the most powerful warrior race in the galaxy, Raditz explained bitterly. Planet Vegeta was our home until it was destroyed by a meteor approximately 20 Earth years ago. Only a handful of us survived, those who were off-planet on missions at the time. Including me, Goku realized. I was sent here as a baby. To conquer this world, yes, Raditz confirmed. Weaker Scion infants were sent to planets with low power levels. You were considered unremarkable at birth. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. So who's this Prince Vegeta? Krillin asked. The crown prince of our people, the strongest Scion alive, Raditz answered, a note of reverence in his voice despite his predicament. When he learned another Scion might have survived on Earth, he ordered me to investigate. Why does he want Goku specifically? Bulma pressed. Raditz hesitated. We serve a being called Frieza. He controls most of the known galaxy and employs what's left of the Scions as planet clearers. Prince Vegeta has plans to eventually challenge Frieza, but we need every Scion we can find. So this Vegeta wants to use me to fight someone else. Goku frowned. I won't help anyone destroy planets or kill innocent people. You may not have a choice, Raditz warned. Now that they know you're alive, and possessing this strange power, they will come for you. And unlike me, Prince Vegeta won't bother with threats or negotiations. He'll simply destroy everything you care about until you submit. The grim prediction hung in the air. Finally, Roshi broke the silence. How long do we have before they arrive? Vegeta and Nappa were already on their way when I left, Raditz admitted. They're about 3 months from Earth at standard space travel speeds. 3 months, Goku repeated thoughtfully. Time to prepare, then. Prepare. Raditz laughed weakly. You don't understand. Prince Vegeta is 10 times stronger than me. Even with your unusual abilities, you can't hope to defeat him. Goku's expression remained determined. We'll see about that. The revelation of Goku's extraterrestrial origins changed everything, and nothing. To his friends, he remained the same Goku they had always known, regardless of where he came from. But the knowledge that hostile Scions were approaching Earth created a new urgency to their training. Raditz, still partially paralyzed from Goku's nerve strike, was secured in a special containment field Bulma designed, one that could withstand Scion's strength once he recovered. The warrior vacillated between threats, bargaining, and occasional moments of genuine curiosity about his transformed brother. That silver energy, he asked during one of Goku's visits. What is it really? Ultra instinct, Goku replied, setting down a tray of food within Raditz's reach. Despite everything, he couldn't bring himself to let anyone go hungry. At least that's what Master Roshi and Piccolo call it. And you've always had it? Since you were a child? Goku nodded. As far back as I can remember. My body just moves on its own. Raditz considered this. No Scion in our history has displayed such an ability. Our strength comes from battle, from pushing our limits and growing stronger with each fight. He studied Goku with reluctant fascination. Something must have happened to you en route to Earth. The comment triggered another memory fragment, the pod, the strange light, the sensation of energy flowing through his infant body. Maybe it did, Goku murmured. Meanwhile, preparations for the Scion arrival intensified. Bulma established a global early warning network, coordinating with her father and the king's forces. Fighters from around the world gathered, drawn by word that Earth faced an unprecedented threat. Even Piccolo Jr., after his defeat, chose to remain, partly to observe Goku's abilities further, partly because Earth's destruction would leave him without a kingdom to conquer. 3 months isn't much time, Tien Shinhan observed during a strategy meeting. He and Kaiotsu had arrived shortly after news of the Scion threat spread, having abandoned the Crane School to stand with Earth's defenders. It's all we've got, Yamcha replied grimly. And we need every advantage we can get. Krillin turned to Raditz, who was present under heavy guard. What are their weaknesses? All fighters have some. Raditz smirked. Prince Vegeta has none. But. He hesitated, clearly weighing his loyalties. Finally, practicality won out. Scions transform under the full moon. Our Oozura form increases our power tenfold but can be difficult to control. If you remove our tails in that state, we revert to normal. Like what happened to Goku years ago, Bulma realized. When we cut off his tail during his transformation. Raditz looked shocked. You've transformed, Kakarot. And survived having your tail removed. A couple of times, Goku confirmed. But it felt different from what you're describing. I was still, me, during the transformation. In control. This revelation clearly disturbed Raditz, adding to the growing list of anomalies surrounding his brother. As the days passed, training intensified. Goku worked not just on enhancing his Ultra Instinct but on developing new techniques that complemented it. Under Rashi's guidance, he refined his energy projection, learning to channel Ki more efficiently. More surprising was Piccolo Jr.'s contribution. The Namekian, having witnessed Ultra Instinct firsthand, offered insights into its potential applications. Your body moves perfectly, he told Goku during a rare moment of cooperation, but your energy attacks are still consciously formed. If you could apply the same instinctive perfection to Ki manipulation. The suggestion led to breakthroughs. Goku began developing techniques where his energy responded as automatically as his body, Ki blasts that adjusted trajectory in real time, shields that formed without conscious thought exactly where needed. 2 months into their preparation, the relative peace was shattered by an unexpected development. The communication device from Raditz's pod suddenly activated, projecting a holographic image of a flame-haired man in Scion armor. Raditz, report, the figure demanded. When no response came, his eyes narrowed. I know you can hear this, whoever you are. This message will reach my brother's pod regardless of who possesses it now. Goku approached the projection cautiously. You're Vegeta. The Scion Prince studied him with cold calculation. And you must be Kakarot. Raditz was right, you do look like your father. His lip curled slightly. Though you lack a proper Scion's bearing. Why are you coming to Earth? Goku asked directly. Originally. To recruit another warrior for our cause. Vegeta's expression hardened. Now. To see this Ultra Instinct for myself. No low-class Scion should possess the power of gods. I don't want to fight you, Goku said. There's no reason for us to be enemies. Vegeta laughed, the sound harsh and without humor. Oh, but there is. You see, Kakarot, there can only be one ultimate Scion warrior, and that is me, the Prince of all Scions. Your very existence with this power is an insult to our bloodline. That's ridiculous, Goku countered. Power doesn't depend on birth or titles. Spoken like someone born to nothing, Vegeta sneered. Elite blood will always triumph over low-class mutations. I've altered our course, we'll reach Earth in 3 weeks, not the month remaining in Raditz's estimation. The projection flickered as Vegeta leaned closer. Prepare yourself, Kakarot. I will show you the difference between a freak accident of power and true Scion greatness. As the hologram vanished, a heavy silence fell over the group. 3 weeks, Krillin whispered. We just lost a quarter of our preparation time. Goku's expression remained calm, but his eyes reflected determination. Then we'll make every day count. The final weeks passed in a blur of intense training. Goku pushed himself beyond previous limits, working to integrate Ultra Instinct more completely with his conscious techniques. The others developed their own strategies, knowing they would face Scion warriors potentially stronger than Raditz. Interestingly, Raditz himself became increasingly cooperative as the arrival date approached. Whether from self-preservation or genuine doubt about Vegeta's intentions, he offered detailed insights into Scion fighting techniques and weaknesses. Nappa relies on brute force, he explained during one strategy session. Physically stronger than Vegeta but slower and less tactical. If you can avoid his initial onslaught, he becomes frustrated and careless. And Vegeta? Tien asked. Raditz' expression grew serious. Never assume you've seen his full power. He always holds something in reserve, and his tactical mind is unmatched among our kind. The day of arrival dawned clear and bright, deceptively peaceful for what might become Earth's most significant battle. Based on trajectory calculations, the Scion pod would land in a remote desert region, minimizing civilian casualties but providing little cover for Earth's defenders. They gathered at the predicted landing site hours before arrival: Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Kaiotsu, and even Piccolo Jr. Bulma remained at a mobile command center several miles back, monitoring global communications and ready to coordinate evacuation efforts if necessary. Master Roshi had reluctantly agreed to stay behind as well, acknowledging that his strength, while considerable for a human, would be insufficient against Scion warriors. I sense something, Goku said suddenly, looking skyward. His Ultra Instinct was responding to a threat not yet visible, a prickling sensation that had been gradually intensifying. Moments later, two streaks of light appeared in the blue sky, rapidly growing larger as they approached. The Scion pods crashed into the desert with tremendous impact, creating twin craters that sent sand and rock exploding outward. Goku's body automatically protected his friends, his aura expanding to deflect debris before his conscious mind had fully processed the threat. As the dust settled, two figures emerged from the craters. The first was enormous, nearly 7 feet tall, with a muscular build that dwarfed even Raditz. His bald head and thick mustache gave him a brutish appearance that matched his overwhelming physical presence. The second was shorter but radiated far greater danger. Prince Vegeta stood with perfect posture, his flame-like hair adding to his already considerable height. Despite his compact frame, every movement spoke of lethal efficiency and absolute confidence. So, Vegeta said, surveying the assembled defenders with evident disdain. This is Earth's welcoming committee. His gaze settled on Goku. And you must be Kakarot. Where's Raditz? Safe, Goku replied simply. He's not harmed. As if I care, Vegeta scoffed. He failed his mission, his fate is irrelevant. He touched his scouter, scanning each of Earth's defenders. Pathetic power levels. Except. His scouter beeped erratically when directed at Goku, the numbers fluctuating wildly before the device sparked and shut down. Interesting, Vegeta murmured, removing the damaged scouter. Nappa, what does yours read? The larger Scion activated his own device. It's all over the place, Vegeta. Base reading around 8,000, but it keeps spiking to that. Can't be right. What does it say? Vegeta demanded impatiently. It flashed error and then showed symbols I've never seen before, Nappa admitted, confusion evident. Like the device is trying to calculate something it wasn't designed for. Vegeta's eyes narrowed as he studied Goku more carefully. Show me this Ultra Instinct, Kakarot. Prove you're worthy of my time. Goku stepped forward, his expression serious. I don't need to prove anything. Leave Earth peacefully, and there's no need for anyone to get hurt. The Scion Prince laughed. Oh. And if we refuse? Then I'll stop you, Goku said simply. Nappa cracked his knuckles. Big talk from a low-class warrior who abandoned his mission. Let me crush him, Vegeta. Patience, Nappa. Vegeta raised a hand. Plant the Cyberman first. Let's see how these Earthlings handle a warm-up. The bald giant grinned cruelly, reaching into his armor to retrieve a small container. He knelt, digging several small holes in the ground before placing seed-like objects in each and covering them with soil. A strange green liquid followed, poured carefully over each planting. What are those? Krillin whispered. Cultivation warriors, Piccolo replied grimly. I've heard of them. Bioengineered soldiers grown from alien seed stock. The ground began to bulge and crack as 6 green humanoid creatures erupted from the soil, their plant-like bodies twitching with malevolent energy. Each Cyberman has roughly the same power as Raditz, Vegeta announced with a smirk. Consider this a calibration test. Nappa and I want to see exactly what we're dealing with before getting our hands dirty. 6 against 6, Nappa added. Seems fair, doesn't it? Before anyone could respond, the Cybermen attacked, each targeting a different defender. The battle erupted across the desert landscape, individual duels spreading out over the rocky terrain. Yamcha found himself facing a Cyberman that matched his speed but fought with bizarre, unpredictable movements. Tien and Kaiotsu worked in tandem against 2, using their psychic coordination to maintain advantage. Piccolo battled his opponent with calm efficiency, his stretching limbs keeping the creature at bay. Krillin struggled initially but found his rhythm, using his small size and technical precision to counter his Cyberman's feral attacks. Goku, however, simply stood motionless as his opponent charged. At the last possible moment, his body shifted slightly, a minimal movement that nevertheless caused the Cyberman to miss entirely, crashing into a boulder behind. The creature recovered quickly, more cautious now as it circled Goku. Its next attack incorporated acid spray from glands in its head, a corrosive liquid that could melt through steel. Goku's hand moved automatically, his aura extending to neutralize the acid midair. The silver-blue energy became briefly visible, drawing Vegeta's intense attention. There it is, the prince murmured. But barely activated. He's holding back. The Cyberman, frustrated by its ineffective attacks, suddenly latched onto Goku in a suicide grip, a last-ditch technique designed to take an opponent down by self-destructing. Goku! Krillin shouted in warning. But Ultra Instinct had already responded. In a movement too fast to follow, Goku extracted himself from the creature's grip and propelled it skyward, where its self-destruction created a harmless but spectacular explosion. Across the battlefield, the other defenders finished their own battles with varying degrees of difficulty. Only Yamcha sustained significant injury, a deep gash across his chest from his opponent's claws. Impressive for Earthlings, Nappa acknowledged grudgingly. But Kakarot, you didn't even try. I don't want to fight if I don't have to, Goku replied. Vegeta studied him with increasing frustration. You truly don't understand what you are, do you? You possess power that shouldn't exist in a mortal, let alone a low-class scion, yet you treat it as an inconvenience rather than embracing your warrior heritage. I am who I am, Goku. Said simply. Scion birth, earth raised. I protect my home and my friends. That's all that matters. Then perhaps you need proper motivation. Vegeta's expression turned cruel. Nappa, demonstrate what happens to those who disappoint me. The giant scion grinned malevolently, raising 2 fingers toward the sky. The air around him distorted as he channeled enormous energy. With pleasure, Vegeta. What followed was not an attack on Goku or his friends, but on Earth itself. A massive energy blast shot skyward, then arced toward the distant horizon, directly toward the location of Bulma's mobile command center. No. Goku's aura flared instantly, his body launching into motion faster than even Scion eyes could track. But the distance was too great, even at his speed, he couldn't intercept the blast before it reached its target. Or so it seemed. What happened next astonished even Vegeta. Goku's Ultra Instinct evolved yet again, responding to the emotional urgency rather than just physical threat. His body didn't just move, it seemed to exist in multiple places simultaneously, after images so perfect they appeared solid trailing behind him. He intercepted Nappa's blast milliseconds before impact, his hands catching and compressing the destructive energy until it collapsed into nothingness. Goku turned back toward the Scions, his expression transformed. The casual, friendly demeanor was gone, replaced by focused determination. His silver-blue aura now surrounded him completely, visible to all, his eyes glowing with the same light. You targeted innocent people, he said, his voice unnaturally calm. That ends now. Nappa took an involuntary step back, his scouter beeping frantically before shorting out completely. Vegeta! What is this power? But the prince was smiling despite the overwhelming energy now radiating from Goku. This is what I came to see. The true Ultra Instinct. His own aura flared in response, royal blue energy crackling around his body. Finally, a challenge worthy of the Prince of all Saiyans. What followed was unlike any battle Earth had witnessed. Vegeta attacked with speed and precision that would have overwhelmed any normal opponent, each strike containing enough power to shatter mountains. Yet none connected. Goku's Ultra Instinct responded perfectly, his body flowing around Vegeta's attacks while simultaneously launching counters that tested even the prince's elite defenses. Impossible. Vegeta snarled after a particularly close exchange left him with a bleeding cut on his cheek, the first blood drawn. How can a low-class warrior move like this? Goku didn't respond verbally, his consciousness partially submerged beneath the perfect instinct guiding his movements. Each attack and counter flowed from one to the next, his body constantly positioning for optimal advantage. Meanwhile, the other defenders engaged Nappa, working together to counter the giant's overwhelming strength. Piccolo, Tien, and Krillin coordinated their attacks while Yamcha and Kaiotsu provided support from range, their combined efforts slowly wearing down the brutal Saiyan. Vegeta, recognizing that direct combat was ineffective, changed tactics. Impressive dodging, Kakarot. But can you protect everyone at once? He gathered energy into his palm, forming a compressed sphere of destructive power. Gallic Gun. The beam fired not at Goku but at his friends battling Nappa, threatening to annihilate them all in a single blast. Ultra Instinct responded instantly, Goku's body positioning to intercept the attack while simultaneously preparing a counter. Ka, mi, ha, mi. Ha. The beams collided with earth-shaking force, the point of impact creating a miniature sun that temporarily blinded all observers. Goku's Kamehameha, enhanced by Ultra Instinct's perfect energy control, gradually pushed Vegeta's Gallic Gun back despite the prince's increasing power output. This can't be happening. Vegeta roared, pouring more energy into his attack. I am the Prince of all Saiyans. The beam struggle concluded with a massive explosion that sent Vegeta crashing into a distant rock formation, his armor cracked and smoking. Nappa, distracted by his prince's predicament, left himself open to a combined attack from Earth's defenders. A simultaneous strike from Piccolo and Tien brought the giant to his knees, while Krillin delivered the finishing blow, a Destructo disc that severed his tail, preventing any potential transformation. As the dust settled, Vegeta emerged from the rubble, his expression a mask of barely controlled rage. You've surprised me, Kakarot. But this battle is far from over. He reached into his damaged armor and withdrew a small remote device. I came prepared for unusual circumstances. With a press of a button, his pod responded, opening to release a pulsing object that floated toward him. Behold, Vegeta announced as he grasped the sphere, a power even your instincts cannot counter. Artificial moonlight. He crushed the sphere, releasing energy that expanded rapidly into the sky, forming a glowing orb that mimicked the full moon's Blutz waves, the radiation that triggered Saiyan transformation. Now witness true Saiyan power. Vegeta's eyes reddened as he stared at the artificial moon, his body beginning to pulse and expand. Fur erupted across his skin as his features elongated, transforming into the massive Oozura form. The great ape towered over the battlefield, 10 times Vegeta's original size but retaining his intelligence and control. What good is perfect movement, his voice boomed, now deep and monstrous, when facing power that can destroy the planet itself. His massive fist crashed down, the impact creating a shockwave that sent Earth's defenders flying. Only Goku maintained his position, Ultra Instinct allowing him to ride the concussive force rather than being overwhelmed by it. We need to cut off his tail. Krillin shouted, remembering Raditz information about Saiyan weakness. Easier said than done, Piccolo growled. He's not giving us any openings. Goku assessed the transformed prince with calm calculation, his Ultra Instinct analyzing the new threat parameters. The Oozuru form possessed overwhelming strength and surprising speed for its size, but its movements were less refined, more predictable. What happened next demonstrated Ultra Instinct's true versatility. Rather than attempting to match Vegeta's raw power, Goku's body adapted perfect evasion techniques specifically calibrated for the Oozuru's attack patterns. Each massive strike missed by precisely calculated margins, the giant form's momentum used against it. "Stand still and fight me properly." Vegeta roared, frustration mounting as his attacks met nothing but air. Goku finally spoke, his voice steady despite the strain of maintaining perfect movement against such destructive force. "This isn't how it has to be, Vegeta. We don't need to be enemies." "Spare me your sentimentality," the giant ape snarled. "I am royalty. You are nothing but a lucky mutation." The battle intensified, Vegeta's attacks becoming increasingly destructive as his frustration mounted. Massive energy blasts from the Oozuru's mouth carved trenches across the desert floor, threatening the planet's integrity itself. Earth's other defenders contributed where possible, launching coordinated attacks at Vegeta's weak points, particularly his tail. But the Saiyan Prince, unlike typical Oozuru transformations, maintained tactical awareness that made approaching his vulnerable points nearly impossible. The turning point came when Vegeta, in his rage, made a critical error. After another failed attack sequence, he gathered enormous energy for a blast that could potentially destroy Earth's crust. "If I can't defeat you, I'll destroy this entire planet." The massive energy sphere grew between his hands, its destructive potential evident to all present. But the wind-up for such a powerful attack created the opening Goku had been waiting for. In a movement that combined perfect instinct with conscious strategy, Goku launched himself directly at Vegeta's face, not to attack, but to momentarily blind him with his aura's brightness. The distraction was minimal but sufficient. "Now!" Goku shouted to his friends. Piccolo and Tien launched simultaneously from opposite sides, each targeting the same point on Vegeta's tail with precisely timed energy beams. The coordinated attack severed the appendage cleanly, immediately triggering the transformation's reversal. Vegeta shrieked in pain and rage as his body rapidly contracted, the enormous energy he'd gathered dispersing chaotically in the process. The backlash sent him crashing to the ground, creating a crater nearly 100 feet wide. When the dust settled, the Saiyan Prince lay in the center, returned to his normal form, his armor almost completely destroyed and his body severely damaged from the transformation's violent interruption. Earth's defenders approached cautiously, uncertain if the threat had truly ended. Goku, still surrounded by the silver-blue aura of Ultra Instinct, reached the crater first. Vegeta looked up at him, blood trickling from his mouth, his eyes burning with humiliation and rage. "Finish it," he spat. "Prove you're a true Saiyan." Instead, Goku's aura receded as he extended his hand. "It's over, Vegeta. You fought well, but this planet is under my protection. I won't kill you." The prince stared at the offered hand with naked disbelief. You're showing mercy. To me? You're one of the last of our kind," Goku replied simply. "And I think there's more to you than conquest and destruction." Vegeta's laughter was bitter and pained. "You understand nothing, Kakarot. Frieza will hear of this, of your power. He'll come for you himself. And compared to him, I am nothing. Then we'll face that when it comes," Goku answered calmly. For a long moment, it seemed Vegeta might actually accept the offered hand. Then, with surprising speed for his injured state, he pulled a hidden device from his shattered armor and pressed it. His pod immediately responded, flying to his location. "This isn't over between us, Kakarot," he growled as the pod opened behind him. "Next time, I won't underestimate your strange power." Before anyone could stop him, he dragged himself into the pod, which sealed and launched immediately, disappearing into the sky within seconds. Nappa, still unconscious from the earlier battle, remained behind, a prisoner of war from a conflict that had barely begun. As Earth's defenders gathered, assessing their injuries and the battle's aftermath, none of them noticed the small drone that had observed the entire confrontation from high above. Its visual feed had transmitted every detail of the battle, particularly Goku's silver-blue aura and impossible movements, to receivers far beyond Earth. Across the galaxy, on a massive ship unlike any in known space, a diminutive figure with horns and a tail watched the recording with growing interest. Ultra Instinct, Frieza murmured, his cold eyes narrowing. In a scion, no less. How problematic. Beside him, his loyal Lieutenant Zarbon bowed respectfully. Shall I dispatch the Ginyu Force to deal with this anomaly, Lord Frieza? Frieza considered the suggestion, then shook his head. No. This requires personal attention. He rose from his hovering chair. Set course for Earth immediately. The true test of Goku's divine power was still to come. Back on Earth, the aftermath of the Saiyan invasion brought both celebration and concern. The immediate threat had been repelled, but Vegeta's warning about Frieza cast a shadow over their victory. Nappa, recovered from his injuries and held in the same containment field as Raditz, provided grudging confirmation. If Frieza comes personally, you're all dead, he stated bluntly. The prince is a gnat compared to Frieza's power. Then we need to prepare, Goku said, his expression serious as he addressed the gathered defenders at Kame House. Train harder, get stronger. But how? Krillin asked, understandably discouraged. If this Frieza is as powerful as they claim, what chance do we have? A better one than you think, came an unexpected voice. Everyone turned to find Piccolo Jr. leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed. The Saiyan battle revealed something important about Kakarot's power. Goku, the Saiyan-born Earthling corrected automatically. My name is Goku. Piccolo ignored the interruption. His Ultra Instinct doesn't just protect him, it evolves continuously. Each threat pushes it to new levels of adaptation. Against Frieza, it might evolve even further. That's a big might to bet the planet on, Bulma pointed out pragmatically. Which is why we need more than just my abilities, Goku agreed. We need everyone to get stronger, and we need to understand exactly what we're facing. He turned to Raditz and Nappa, who watched the discussion with mixed expressions of disdain and intrigue. Tell us everything about Frieza. His strengths, weaknesses, fighting style, anything that might help. The two Saiyans exchanged glances. Finally, Raditz spoke. Frieza has multiple transformation states, each multiplying his power. Even in his lowest form, he could destroy a planet with a single finger. He's not just powerful, Nappa added grimly. He's tactical, patient, and utterly merciless. He destroyed our home planet on a whim when he feared the Saiyan race might eventually challenge him. A meteor didn't destroy your world, Raditz explained, the revelation clearly painful. Frieza did. And he'll do the same to Earth without hesitation. The gravity of the situation settled over the group. This wasn't just another battle, it was potentially an extinction-level threat. How long do we have? Tien asked practically. If he comes directly from his last known location, Nappa calculated, perhaps 6 months. Less if he pushes his ship to maximum speed. Then we have 6 months to become strong enough to face him, Goku concluded. We start now. As the group dispersed to begin preparations, Bulma pulled Goku aside. There's something you should see, she said quietly, leading him to her temporary laboratory. Inside, she activated a device that projected readings from the Saiyan battle. I've been analyzing your energy patterns during Ultra Instinct, she explained. And I found something unusual. The display showed 2 overlapping energy signatures, one recognizably Goku's normal ki, the other the silver-blue energy of Ultra Instinct. They're not fully integrated, Bulma pointed out. Ultra Instinct seems to be a separate energy system that overlays your natural ki. When you fully activate it, the divine energy temporarily dominates, but it never completely merges with your base power. What does that mean? Goku asked, studying the complex diagrams with a puzzled expression. It means You're not using your full potential, Bulma said simply. If these energies could be fully integrated rather than just overlapping, your power would increase exponentially. Goku considered this. How do I integrate them? That's the million-zenny question. Bulma sighed. I'm a scientist, not a key expert. But perhaps there's someone who might know. She didn't need to finish the thought. If Ultra Instinct was truly a divine technique, then perhaps only divine beings could provide insights into mastering it completely. The question was, how does one contact the gods? As if in answer to the unspoken question, the sky outside suddenly darkened. Not the natural darkness of approaching night, but something more profound, as if reality itself was being displaced. Goku's Ultra Instinct activated automatically, responding to the overwhelming pressure that suddenly permeated the air. Something's coming, he said unnecessarily. Something powerful. They rushed outside to find a spectacle unlike anything they'd witnessed before. The ocean had receded hundreds of yards from shore, the water standing in an impossible vertical wall. The very air shimmered with prismatic energy, and at the center of this distortion stood two figures. One was tall and slender, with pale blue skin and white hair styled in an upward sweep. He carried a long staff and wore elaborate robes that seemed to shift colors with each movement. His companion was shorter, purple-skinned with distinctly feline features and the unmistakable aura of immense, barely restrained power. Found you, the purple being said, his voice surprisingly casual given the reality-warping effects of his mere presence. The scion with Ultra Instinct. Goku stepped forward, his own aura activating defensively. Who are you? The pale figure bowed slightly. I am Whis, attendant and teacher to something went wrong with this response, please try again. Move on to the next chapter. Shift the story into the next chapter. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.